Good day, and I welcome everyone again. Peace, love, and my initial being is at peace and at rest. And today we're going to be talking about a very significant thing, which is going to be the infinite shift, the music, tones, the law of vibration, and getting back to your real indigenous self. So, a lot of people are finding out there's a lot of things in our history that has been extremely changed around and, not the way that it's supposed to be. But, again, here at INNA, the Indigenous Nations of North America, one of the things that we really want to do is create a nation and a country that are going to be full with beings that are their real true selves. Getting back to what we are and who we are before the invasions began, more than 500 to 1,000 years ago. And yes, so in order to be able to do this, we need to be able to get in touch and in tune with who and what we are as beings and what we were like before the invasions. So a lot of people, we're finding out what, the real history is. They're talking about the slave ships, where are the slave ships. We'll have a video program on that. We'll have a more in-depth program on about the Atlantic slave trade, which we have done a program on that as well, on Dark Matter Radio. And we will get into that and answer a lot of those different types of questions, which also gets into us and our validity of assuming an identity of ourselves, of who we are on this land of North America. And the key word is North America, right? That's the key word, right? Getting back to ourselves. So before we can do anything, as we talked about in another video compilation that we did, we need to be able to get in tune with ourselves. So that's why today we're going to talk about music and the law of vibration. And one of the things that you need to know about the law of vibration is that everything in the universe vibrates. Everything in the universe vibrates. And everything in the universe states, the law of the universe states that everything in the universe moves and vibrates. Everything is vibrating at one speed or another. Nothing is at rest. Understand that. Nothing is at rest at any particular time. Nothing. And everything you see around you is vibrating. Everything you see around you is vibrating at one frequency or another. And so are you. That's extremely important for you to have an understanding of, because you are vibrating, right? Everything about you is vibrating. You're vibrating at high frequencies, low frequencies, and there's a lot of these things that are happening today, even in our own homes, that deal with frequency. All of the wireless communication that we have a great effect on who and what we are. It vibrates and it resonates within the boundaries of our DNA, the very cellular level of what we are. This is the reason why you need to really understand about these tones, about these frequencies. One of the things I want to bring up to you and a lot of the, Christians that are out there, Muslims, Hebrews, right? Anybody that deals with chanting, mantras, monks, right? All of you have an understanding and realize how important music is in your daily what you would call spiritual ritual, which again, I want to get back to your soulful ritual, because the soul is exactly who and what you are. Spirit is the energy upon which that gives the soul life. So as you understand this, we know that there is a character by the name of Lucifer, who was supposed to have been the second left hand of God, or a very powerful angel in the universal constructs of a lot of this religion's teachings. And what was his main thing was he was the morning star. And then we go with that word morning, because we'll get into words in just a minute. But he was the morning star. He was the orchestra. He was the leader of all music in all the universes that we know of. And why is that? Because we know that the music that he was producing was the musical tones of the universe, the very vibrational fields upon which emanates from a certain source that goes out and affects everything. Because everything is affected through its vibration. That's why he was such an important character in the Bible and the Torah and a lot of the other religious areas, because he knew the importance of vibration. He knew the importance of it. So the other thing that I want to get into is the music that you're listening to today is a bit different than the music that they were using as a universal construct. But the tones, the vibrations that are in there have the same effect. It's just that it's covered with a lot of words and a lot of overages in the music itself. But its purpose is to affect you and affect your vibrational field. And when your vibrational field is affected, you can become depressed, you become moody, you could become all kinds of things, extremely happy. It could run the sicknesses inside of your body. It can destroy your DNA, change you on the molecular level. That's how important vibration is. That's how important music is. So you have to be very careful of what type of vibrations of music that you're letting in your life. People have vibrations that are around them. We talked about that with the aura, right? And the universal energy that they're putting in. So vibration and the music that is around you is extremely important. Did you know that every single solar system, star, planet has some sort of a vibrational musical field that's coming from it? Even our very own so-called Earth has a musical vibrational field. I'll put more of this on the Dark Matter radio program, and you can actually hear these tones that are actually coming out of these planetary systems. The sun has its own vibrational music tones to it. Everything works in harmony out in the universe to create the harmony that we have within inside of ourselves, or the disharmony. One of the greatest sayings that the United States has, or the UN has, is that we create a new world out of disharmony. So they create disharmony in order for them to be able to create something new. So this is the reason why it's important for us to have an understanding what all this really means, how it's being used. Nikola Tesla said the great genius that fathers the electromagnetic engineering had once said, if you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, then you would hold the key to the universe. The 3, 6, and 9 are the fundamental vibrations of the Solfeggio frequencies. And we'll get into the Solfeggio frequencies in just a moment and what they are. Albert Einstein stated concerning matter, we have been all wrong with what we have called matter is energy, whose vibration has been so lowered as to be predictable to the senses. This is no matter. All the matter beings vibrate at a specific rate, and everything has its own melody. The music, the nature of the nuclear matter of atoms to galaxies is how finally begin to realize by science. So they are recognizing that the frequencies and the tonalities of the things that are around us have a very, very serious understanding of this. And again, when you put these vibrations with the secret text or the secret alphabet that you learn as a kid of the English language, of any language now, because now all these languages, they either worked in some sort of characters or alphabet, and they go into these musical tones and create even more resonant frequencies at a more intense rate. And that's what the intended purpose is supposed to do with the language. Because language really is not necessary in order for you to be able to create anything. It is all done through thought. And thought is a creation way of picturing what you want in front of you. And it creates that vibrational field to create the reality. And so what they did with our people, and what they did with a lot of people, they began to create vibrational fields to put in a certain reality that they should not be in. This is the reason why Inna exists, not only for the indigenous nations of North America and its peoples, but for everything that we are responsible for on this so-called earth. So, what is the Solfeggio? Solferggio, Ghiario, right? Frequencies. It makes up 6 ancient tones in a scale, well, separate scales, right? Thought to have been used in sacred music, including the beautiful music well known as Gregorian chants. A lot of chants. Monks from Indonesia, monks from China, monks from all over the earth, right? Even in Christian chants, right? It's used throughout all the different religions. And they use a lot of these specific type tones and repeat words to create the vibrational field upon which they need. Right? Each tone is comprised of a frequency required to balance your energy and keep your body and mind and spirit in perfect harmony. The music that you're hearing now in the background is 528 megahertz, and it has specifically designed to do certain things to your body. And what I believe through the studies that I have is that our ancient culture had relied and developed a lot of these different tones. And I wouldn't say developed, but I believe that we brought it here to this earth with us and was given to us in order for us to be able to maintain our soulful being on this earth, maintain our mindful clarity, maintain our spiritual clarity, our energy that comes in and filters through our spirit, that goes into our souls, to maintain our physical bodies and our cellular structure, our DNA. Now, the thing about these tones is that each of them are created to do certain things, right? They're not really talked about much. But again, like I said on the Dark Matter radio program, probably with the same title that we have, maybe a little bit different. We'll get into a lot of these different things. So what I want to get into right now is, what are these different tones? The 6 main frequencies are 390 megahertz. And what that does is liberating guilt and fear. 417 megahertz, undoing situations and facilitating change. 528 megahertz, transforming and miracles. It also gets into DNA repair. The 639 megahertz, connecting and relationships. The 741 megahertz, expressions and solutions. And then we have the 852 megahertz, returning to a spiritual order. And these were all, they say, were actually a person in ancient times had a vision, and that vision was more so on the European side of things. And this is the reason why they were used in over 150 Gregorian chants. And it was to help them to be able to get them on track to developing their soulful nature, which is something that we resonated in ourselves naturally. So it can work in two ways. It can help you develop, and it can work you undevelop. Because there are other tones that are out there that are very low resonant frequencies that will begin to start sucking energy away from you and out of you, which means that they come out of yourself, they come out of your people, they come out of your community, and the strength that you have will flow into the energy flow, which will be sucked up by somebody else. This is one of the reasons why our communities can never really, and I will say our communities, the Black community, the original indigenous communities, the African American communities, in a lot of respects, will always look dark and darkened, no matter how many churches or anything that's in there, because they're siphoning that vibrational energy away from you and putting it into other areas. So there's a lot more that could be said for these spiritual tones, and there are a lot more spiritual tones out there, but I want you to go onto YouTube and put in 528 megahertz and listen to it. Now, the thing about this is that when you're listening to these tones, all these tones can be done at the same time. And this is one of the things that made a lot of these spiritual, what you would call angels and entities, so powerful, was that they were able to use these tones and direct it towards certain purposes, running all at once. And once we begin as a people to begin to start using these tones again, we're going to become powerful. We'll begin to start building ourselves up on the inside. And all those things that will become hidden will become seen again, including what's going on up there in our atmosphere, what's going on all around us. It will change the very nature of yourself. And that's what we need. That's what we want. Because as we begin to start going into this indigenous nations in North America, as we begin to start rising our frequencies, we will begin to start rising the frequencies and putting in the right tones all around us everywhere. And anything that would be associated with you personally will begin to start to rise. So this is the reason why 396 megahertz, turning grief into joy, liberating guilt and fear, or 417 megahertz, undoing situations and facilitating change. 528 megahertz, transforming miracles and DNA repair. 639 megahertz, relationship connecting and spiritual family. 741 megahertz, expressions of solutions and cleaning and solving. And cleaning out you, cleaning out your mental capacities and cleaning out the area and all the negative energy that's around you. 852 megahertz, returning to your spiritual order. So as I begin to start closing this, one of the things that I need you to understand is that we need to begin to start making our own music and our own music in these kind of tones, because I believe these are the natural tones of who we are as beings and people. This is what we're resonating all the time, and this is the energy they're taking from us. So let no one take your tone from you. website coming up. We're an Indigenous. It will be talking about a lot of these things. We'll also go into Dark Matter Radio. We'll also go into Indigenous North America. Get on there and begin to start learning who and what you are. Pick up the literature that's there. It's there to help you grow as an individual and as a spiritual and soulful being, because we are soul. One of the reasons why I think that the name of this begins with soul. Become who you are meant to be. Become the power and the family leader that you need to be. And as a mother, help yourself to be able to create the energy around your children and in your family to bring them into the peace, bring them into the love that they deserve and you deserve as well. Remember that you are deserving. You are deserving of every good thing that comes your way. And that every meditation that you have is more powerful than the last meditation. And when you're listening to these tones and you're listening to these sounds, you don't have to speak that one word. Clear your mind. Clear your mind. No incantations, no repetitive words. Just relax and be at peace and allow your inner self to grow. This is Ronnie McLean for I Am Indigenous, Dark Matter Radio, McLean Safety, and a new thunder for Indigenous nations in North America. May you be at peace and may peace follow you and love harass you wherever you may go. Have a great day. Have a great life. And enjoy the tones of your soul.